Yo, what up, YouTube? It's the Lore Master. We're going to be talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds in this video. First, I was kind of hesitant on making this just because we've seen with Discovery and Picard that the shows kind of go downhill quickly after they release. So I was just giving it some room to breathe before I started making videos on it. I want to get into making episode reviews or thoughts, something like that, whenever episode airs. So probably starting with episode 4, I'll do that. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of go over episode 1 through 3, general thoughts, and like so on. So let's get into it. Episode 1 started out really strong. It kind of reminded me of well, it had a feel of like the Enterprise show to me at least. And that can sound like a bad thing because I know a lot of people don't like that show. But comparing it to modern Trek, like Enterprise is all right, you know? That being said, this Strange New Worlds stands out above Discovery and Picard. Like it's 10 out of 10, night and day difference. So with episode 1, the only real things I can get out of it are kind of nitpicks. Well, maybe a little more than nitpicks. What I mean by that is one of the plot of this episode was they go to a planet that is in conflict, and they realize that they've made a warp bomb, and the way they've made this warp bomb is through reverse engineering by looking through a telescope at starships warp engines. So like that's kind of just dumb. It doesn't make sense writing wise. Another kind of dumb thing they had in this episode was they need to edit their DNA to go to the planet and look like the aliens that live on that planet. And Spock is one of the away team members, and they say that his DNA is so complex that they're unsure if the edited DNA will hold, and he might transform back into looking like a Vulcan when they go down. So just like, why bring him to that planet? You know, there's some like logic in they're breaking the logic in some of their writing. It just doesn't really make any sense in some places. That's the only really thing you can get out of it. Overall, it's a really decent episode, strong start to the show. Episode 2, I felt like it was a little weaker to me. It just the overall plot of it again, it was they go to this asteroid's about to hit a planet and they're trying to stop it. So they beam down to the asteroid and they discover that they can communicate with this asteroid through music. So just that was kind of dumb, but like it was overall a decent episode. I think the reason I don't like it too much is actually just because the Ahura character from TOS, she's like they've kind of redone her in the show. She's like younger, she's a cadet in this. I'm just not feeling the character yet in this show, but it could grow on me. So I'm not. It's just a small complaint right now. We'll have to see where that goes. Overall, it's still a decent episode. I know I'm sounding negative here, but it's just small nitpicks is really all you can get out of this because it's actually a decent show. Um, Going forward to episode 3, probably the best episode that Paramount has ever made, or CBS, whatever you want to say, has ever made of Star Trek. This was actually a really strong episode. It kind of was a classic like mystery episode that you would get in like TNG. You're trying to figure out what's going on with the ship and the crew while they're just like figuring it out in the show. Like you're trying to like race them to the like point. Like, can you figure it out first? You know, it's just one of those fun episodes. Turns out there's a disease that they can't figure out how it's traveling around the ship, and you figure it out along the way. I'm not gonna spoil how it travels and stuff. And then it's also a A and B plot episode. There's the A plot, which is on like the ship, and there's the B plot, which is Pike and Spock on the planet trying to survive a storm. So it's actually a really good episode. It had a lot of classic TNG feels. So if they can continue that and going forward to episode 4, this is going to be one of those shows that its rewatchability is high, kind of like TNG. Like you can just rewatch TNG over and over again. We'll have to see if this continues going forward. Um, that being said, you know, we'll have to wait for season 1 and season 2 potentially to end before we can actually start thinking about that. Because right now, like Discovery and Picard, like I just try to forget about those because they're so bad and they just kind of ruin the character and the franchises that it's based off of. But yeah, you can look forward to episode 4 review. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube stuff. Let me know what you're all thinking about the show. Yeah, just do all the fun YouTube stuff. Catch you next time.